Spirit to spirit investigations. Is it possible? Something to look into. The human spirit. Deep cries unto deep. What man knows the thoughts of a man, save the spirit of the man. So can the human spirit communicate to another human spirit and know the thoughts of the man that may not even be aware that he has this mind of Christ in his spirit? And the spirit would know that man better than he knows himself. And that spirit in the man could communicate to a spirit that's in touch with their spirit and knows the mind of Christ. Just a brief example of this. When Jesus was standing before Pontius Pilate, the disciples weren't there. There were no reporters or tape recorders in that day. And I'm sure the Pharisees that were there would not have reported this, word for word, where Jesus would say, or Pilate would say this, and Jesus in return would respond to his comment, and then Pilate would respond to his remarks, and so forth and so forth. Who recorded that? It's written clearly. He would recall these things to their mind. How? Via their spirits. The spirit is so powerful, more powerful than the subconscious mind, and people who are having like photographic memory, instant recall. People who can remember incidents in detail, full conversations. That's the capacity of the human psyche, the subconscious mind. Yet the human spirit is even far greater. Jesus would know or perceive the thoughts of people. How did he know? Was he psychic? No. Had nothing to do with his subconscious psychic abilities. The Father would tell him through his spirit. He lived out of that spirit. The Father would speak to his spirit. He would speak what the Father would say to speak, to the point where he said, the words I speak, they are not my own, but are my Father's. We have that same spirit and all of its capacity. It could be considered some of the archaic senses we're not even aware of. That one day, during our lifetime, we'll have those abilities to perceive like that, to know the thoughts of people, because you know their spirits. Though I know many after the flesh, I don't know them that way no more. How do you know them? After their spirits. Something to consider. Now this is like anything. It can be mimicked. Someone pretending that they perceive your thoughts in their spirits. I don't know. Who hesitate to put this out? For that reason. Someone will mimic this. Pretend. I've seen it. Some TV evangelists perceiving the thoughts of people. Whether it was real or not, judge nothing for the time. It's sad that that happens. But it is possible. Without the mimicry of those falsifying this, the devil would do that to discredit anything you would get. So if you had this so-called faith, you would keep it to yourself. You could know the thoughts of men. And to report it to them, they don't even deny it. Jesus could perceive their thoughts. And he would say, I perceive that you're seeking to kill me. They thought he was beside himself, out of his mind. They weren't trying to kill him. So that's why you would know it, but you just learn from experience not to share it. You just would know things and you would hesitate sharing it with anyone. It's just not one of those things to know, don't tell. But then you have to live with it. You know what people are really thinking. You know, you can read the mind of their spirit. They would report to you. Whether they're aware of it or not, they wouldn't be aware of it. In this, I just seen something. There's the spirit of the world, which is the human psyche, subconscious mind, influenced by the world. Then there's the mind of your human spirit, empowered by the Holy Spirit, that knows. It's different. It's written that Jesus perceived the hearts of men, and he trusted none of them. He could perceive the spirit of the world in their hearts, uncleansed. Yet when that mind gets cleansed and renewed, it's different. Like it's written, out of the abundance of the heart, a mouth will speak. Jesus said in this way, if the light that you got is darkness, how good is that darkness? The light's got to be turned on. And the human psyche, the human mind, the soul, and be renewed, not after the spirit of this world, but after the spirit of the human spirit empowered by the Holy Spirit, hearing from God your Father, the living Word. Jesus would never act independent from the Father, though it says he had many things he could have said, but the one who sent him was true. He would wait on that word, not go with his own human mind and what he could see, hear, and report what he could see and hear. He'd be influenced by the world around him, but he would all, under his breath, ask the Father concerning what he could see and hear, and the Father would tell him. That's the perception. It's the human spirit empowered by the Holy Spirit, hearing from God the Father, living Word. Not a parrot, repeating or second guessing what someone's thinking. You hear people say, I know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're thinking. They can't probe you. Give some clarity to the statement. A spiritual man can't be probed of no one. They don't know where he's coming from. They think they know, but don't really know. They would try to set Jesus up, thinking that they knew him, so they would come up with questions that they think they would stump his band. Thinking they know him. They didn't know him, because it wasn't him. It was the Father that would answer their questions, not Jesus, sitting there trying to figure out what they're thinking. He understood what they were trying to do. They were thinking to perjure him, trip him up, get him to say things independent from the Father. But it wasn't his words. It was the words of the Father. He even says it. I don't judge you, but the one that will judge you are the words that I speak. These words will judge you, because it was the words of the Father. He was the mode of a Son of Man, never acted independent from the Father. It wasn't his opinions, his thoughts. He had them, but he didn't go with them. He never acted independent of the Father. He would wait through his Spirit for righteousness to come. That's true righteousness. When you heard something from God and He tells you to speak it, that's righteousness. Anything other than that is unrighteousness or human efforts to try to figure things out with a carnal mind. Think they know something, when in truth they're not sufficient themselves to evaluate any matter. Yet we all do. Jump the gun, second guess things. If you would really wait till your spirit and you are known to be trustworthy, Paul said it, commit these archaic senses and abilities, as he told Timothy, to those that are trustworthy. Timothy was trustworthy. They don't hear him writing a book. He didn't write nothing.